Yeah.
Hold on. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh no, I my mic was muted, but y'all's wasn't, so we're good.
Thanks for counting
now we're
us
live.
in there, Dave.
Hey, I just know that you're ready to go at a moment's notice, and I feel like I'm confident that you're such a professional. You can overcome adversity.
All right. Well, hey, welcome everybody to an exciting episode of Three Guys and a Mic. Here we got a new show. As if we didn't have enough content to cover already. We got another groundbreaking, revolutionary, all-time great show. It's the new Rings of Power.
Josh, I felt just I don't know, like a smidgen of sarcasm in your voice.
No. Actually, no, Dave. I mean, I've been the one that's been championing these episodes for the last 20 minutes while you guys have been crapping all over.
Oh, okay.
What are we talking
is
about?
Is that the narrative? That's the narrative that you're going with. Okay. All right. All right, Josh.
That's right.
I'm gonna quiz you on this show before Jason's recap.
All right. Hey, do we have anybody recording in this room right now? Is Craig in here?
Craig's not in here. Gyark's not in here.
We don't need that.
We only had a producer.
Okay.
No, we don't. We don't use that anymore.
All right. Well, good. Then we're gonna go here. I want to pull this thing. Here we go.
Do it.
Hello, and welcome to Three Guys and a Mic presents The Rings of Power, presented by Amazon. I'm your co-host, the Human Dart, along with
Jason Tsunami
and David Disaster.
Back in the saddle once again.
Yes.
Hey, right. we got Jonah in the chat. Welcome.
Why are we here?
What's up, Jonah? Hey, so look, it's a great time to be alive, man. There's so much good stuff going on out there, especially if you're a fan of fantasy.
Yep.
I mean, we have a whole new Game of Thrones series, The House of the Dragon, which, hey, look, if you're a fan of the show here, we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. But also starting this week, we have the new Rings of Power series from Amazon and the Lord of the Rings universe.
Yep.
I'm happy to be here.
Fuck yeah, dude. I would tell you initial thoughts on the show. I'll save some of my critical stuff for a little bit later, but overall, I feel like I'm in the movies.
Yes.
Oh man. Absolutely.
The production value is second to none.
Unbelievable. And look, you can only compare it to other series that have come out recently, right? I think we saw in the first House of Dragon episode, maybe the CGI was a little below average with some of the dragon stuff.
Yeah.
And look, if anybody subjected themselves to watching the Halo series, I watched the first 3 episodes.
Yikes.
Oof.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage. So,
yeah.
I mean, look, we know that there's been a lot of money spent on this series, and the good thing is you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question. Is this the most highly produced movie-like experience from a TV show you've ever seen?
Yeah, I think I think it's fortunate or unfortunate depending on who you talk to, but I think the closest comparison would be House of the Dragon, right? If you compare the most recent couple of episodes of House of the Dragon to,
I would argue too, The Boys is produced really well.
Yeah, but
even that doesn't feel like a movie.
Yeah, even House of the Dragon, although is fantastic, and we'll talk about that later, but just pure visual production standpoint, dude, I think Rings of Power kind of blows it out of the water. And that's not a slight against House of the Dragon by any stretch, but that's just more of a testament to how high the production value of Rings of Power is.
Yeah, but Lord of the Rings was always super visual, right? I mean, when we first get into Fellowship of the Ring, we go to the Shire, so there's this really cool looking field with the houses and the hills kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You always get nice expansive world shots.
Yeah, you got Bilbo's birthday celebration, and you have the really cool fireworks going off and the flying dragon. So, I mean, I think it established itself as being a super visual series. Just, I mean, I don't know, within the first 15 to 20 minutes of the first movie. So, and the good thing is I think the series absolutely lives up to that. There was not one disappointing moment of the first 2 episodes of the series in terms of the way it looked.
Yeah,
absolutely. And in terms of the acting and the writing as well. Like I thought everything was really well done.
Yeah, I agree.
I would say just on the production side of it, there isn't. If you could cut out any 30-second clip from either one of those episodes, show it to somebody and say, "Oh yeah, I just watched this in a movie theater," and they were like, "Yeah, it looks like it."
Yeah,
and that's how high the quality is.
I agree. I think it's just incredibly well done from a production standpoint.
Yeah. Can I bring up a gripe? Is it too early for that? Should I wait?
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like the show does not reward fans of the series to a certain extent. Like, fans of the Lord of the Rings series, you've probably seen them a few times, right? You've already kind of lived in this universe a little bit. And I feel like we were just subjected to having to watch 2 hours of building this world that we have a pretty good idea about. Now look, it was cool. It was cool to see the visuals. It was cool to see a young Galadriel, a young Elrond, right? Like, a lot of that stuff was neat to see, but I just don't know if we needed like 2 full hours of building this world. Now, I get it. You know, let's say I'm some, booger-eating moron that's never seen the original trilogy, and this is my first experience in the Lord of the Rings universe. I guess I would probably need all this, but I don't know. As somebody that I've seen the Lord of the Rings a lot, I just felt like a little punished. I felt like, and I don't know, that sounds stupid, and I'm not meaning it to be like this real dramatic thing, but I just felt like we got punished a little bit and had to sit through 2 full episodes of this 10-episode series of just kind of stuff we already knew-ish.
I would agree. The first 2 episodes are slow and methodical, no doubt. And to your point, I would probably agree. Like, we have a grasp somewhat of the players involved. The only pushback I would give is that whatever story they're gonna tell us, I just think they're trying to put all of the pieces in place.
So, before I, rebut Josh, I just want to put a disclaimer out there, before we get too far, that our experience within the Lord of the Rings universe, for all of us, to my knowledge, is basically the movies. I've read The Fellowship of the Ring. I've never read the other 2, and I've read The Hobbit. But we are by no means, unless one of y'all feel free to correct me. But short of that, that's basically the extent of our knowledge. So we don't have any intimate details of the Silmarillion or any of the other like already established lore.
Yeah, the legendarium or the notes or the whimsical writings of Tolkien or any of that stuff.
So, when we come at this, we're basically just from people who enjoyed the movies, and more or less that's it. So just kind of keep that in mind, as we throw out opinions and stuff here. I don't want to, anybody in the comments like, oh, actually, you're wrong because of this book. like, look, good job. We didn't read that, so we're just approaching this from a moviegoer standpoint. That being said, I disagree with you, Josh, in the sense that, so I agree and disagree. I agree that it was slow. I disagree that that's a bad thing, because this is thousands of years before the events of Lord of the Rings, right? And so, while
did we get that timeline?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so while we do understand the world, we don't understand the world in the context of this time frame that we're in, right? And so they have to put some baseline in there for what's going to happen. And, dude, like, I'm going to be honest. I mean, I know you said you're familiar with what's going on. Dude, I needed every bit of help remembering, like, and I thought it was great how it showed, like, the map and it said the name of the city. And, like, because I needed all of that. Because I didn't know shit going into this. So I do agree it was slow, and if you like add up all of the plot points across both episodes, there admittedly it's not like a whole lot happens, right? So
I feel like it left us in a good space. Like I feel like going into episode 3, like now I feel like Amazon's like, hey, look, okay, we've introduced everything, the players.
Yeah,
here we go.
Like I can only imagine that. I think maybe initially, I'm just gonna guess. Like maybe initially they were thinking, okay, we're just gonna debut the first episode the first week. But I'm glad they did the first 2 because you needed both. Like I would not want to go into next week and then sit through episode 2 and still be waiting for episode 3. You know what I mean?
I mean. Sight unseen, I almost feel like it'd have been better if it had given us episode 3 as well. Because they've done that. Like they typically drop the first 3 episodes of series when they come out.
That's true, but look, this is literally their biggest financial.
Yeah, they're gonna milk this for everything they can.
I mean, I think they have no choice. The amount of money they spent on it, I don't blame them at all. Like if you're gonna put that kind of money into it, I think it cost them $250 million just for the rights to do it. So I mean, like, look, they need all. I mean, look, you say what you want about Amazon, but if they're trying to get the return on their investment, I can't fault them for that. So,
yeah.
But I guess Jason, before we get too much further, Jason, hit us with that recap. Too fur. Yeah, it's a 2 episode. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Saved.
Lord of the Rings. Rings of Power. All right, so. We all know I have a problem with names. So
you're going to fuck all these up.
Go for it. I might. All right, so like we've already stated, the first 2 episodes are slow-moving, methodical. But that's to be expected when attempting to introduce tons of characters and more story. That's basically 1,000 years in the making. Episode 1 has more of a focus on our heroine, Galadriel, who's thirst for revenge after losing her brother, who dies in the war attempting to kill Sauron after the defeat of the Dark Lord Morgoth. It lasts centuries, literal centuries. And only after her entire party turns on her orders does she relent and head home to Lindon. There, the High King proclaims the Great War is over and bestows the honor of them sailing to Valinor for the eternal life of peace. 2 other stories being followed are of the elf Arendir, who's been overseeing the Southlands of Middle-earth for nearly 80 years, and has a fondness for the human healer Bronwyn. The other story is of an unassuming Harfoot clan. I don't know what they're called.
Clan works, probably.
The main one is being the adventurous Nari, who, at the conclusion of the episode, finds a starman known only as the Stranger. Meanwhile, Galadriel jumps ship, literally, just as the ship is entering the great beyond. Episode 2 picks up right there, basically, with Galadriel swimming home and eventually meeting up with another adrift castaway, which then eventually gets picked up by a passing ship. This episode mostly focuses on our 2 other storylines. Nori and her friend Poppy help hide the Starman and eventually try to help him, as well as feed him some snails. Yeah, that happened. But it comes down to he is searching for a certain star constellation. In the other storyline, we have Arendir and Bronwyn are exploring the remains of the town Horden. They're God, these names. Bronwyn goes back to her town to warn the townspeople that whatever laid waste to Horton is headed their way. Of course, Arendon gets himself captured, and Bronwyn and her son kill one of these things that climbs out of a hole in their house.
I believe it was a
One
goblin.
of these things. Yeah.
Yeah, one of these
What are we talking
things. I mean, was it really a goblin?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And it looked a little bit different than the goblins we'd seen.
I mean, that was from
It's like-
2003,
there's like 20
bro.
I was gonna say there's like 20 years of CGI between now and then, bro. It's a little bit better these days.
Maybe.
Think
Okay,
think
I'll
about
take
the
your word.
original Lord of the Rings is like Terminator 1, okay? And this is Terminator 2.
Terminator 2. Okay. Let's see. We do get a new storyline in episode 2 following Elrond, who has been commissioned to help the elven smith Celebrimbor, who's building a new powerful forge. And Elrond
job,
attempts
Jason.
to enlist his air quote, thank you, his air quote friend, the dwarf prince Durin, in Khazad-dûm, who is holding a grudge for 20 years, apparently after Elrond stood him up for a concert.
Yeah.
No, it was just kidding. He didn't go to his wedding and didn't go to his 2 kids' births or nothing. 20 years is like a
Look,
a blink of time.
look, Elrond
Not
is
for a
busy,
dwarf.
okay? Elrond is busy, and like things are
poetry.
going on.
Right. So that was the 2-episode recap. Not a lot happened.
No,
Not a lot happened.
but it
But-
was. We got our cast.
Well-
We got our cast of characters. We have a general idea of what's, of the world, and I think it's like I said, I think it's setting the stage.
Yeah. Well, let's wade
Right.
in here. What was some of our favorite scenes from the 2 shows this week?
I mean, look, I'm gonna kind of sort of go ahead, but if Durin and his whole family isn't like sweeping favorite characters, like I don't even know you guys. I think
So what,
I'm just
are you
trying to
taking?
figure
Are
out
you
what-
taking like the entire Doran and Elrond reunion?
yeah, I think their reunion is great. Was really good. Just like their chemistry was really entertaining.
Especially at the dinner table with his wife.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good, because he's super playing the wife and like really playing. I mean, not in a bad way, but like just really like softening her up.
Yes.
And
Yep.
and she is totally buying into it, and she's just looking at her husband like, "What the fuck is your problem? Look at this guy. He's super nice. What are we
Yeah.
talking about?"
Yeah, he does. I think Elrond does a good job of like putting down things that he knows that the wife is going to pick up on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the guy that plays Elrond is good too. Like I can see the, I don't know, when I see the younger Elrond, I see the old one kind of in my head.
Mr. Anderson,
Yeah,
Agent
yeah.
Smith. I can't unsee Agent Smith every time I see that guy.
Yeah.
Well,
or the Red Skull.
Well, the
one of
actor
other
who
scenes I had.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the actor who played who's playing Elrond also played young Ned Stark.
Ned Stark.
I don't know if you knew that, Josh.
I did not.
Yep.
This dude is he's a cheater, man. He's part of the Lord of the Rings. The Game of Thrones series. He's not supposed to cheat.
Yep.
One of the other scenes I had was something Jason references. It's kind of the Galadriel versus the Ice Troll is what I wrote, but it's kind of everything in that when they find that little castle lair. I don't know what that is, but
I don't know. It's hard to see because they were in the middle of a damn snowstorm blizzard.
yeah. But you can see. I mean, before they go into this building, her soldiers are a little bit tired because, as we find out through some voiceover, they've been searching for Sauron for centuries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Centuries, and
One of-
it took these
one of
guys
her-
centuries to get tired of it.
Yeah, and one of her soldiers is a whiny bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
So I swear to God, when she crushed that troll, okay, and like
Which was
she
badass.
absolutely comes in and obliterates that troll, and it was great. And that's one of the better moments too for the first 2 episodes. this dude like pulls his sword out because he's like, I immediately in that moment think he's going to challenge her to a fight.
Yeah.
And so I'm literally sitting here watching the show, and I say this out loud to the TV. The fuck are you thinking? Like, did you see what just happened?
Like,
and then I realized he's like laying his sword down. He doesn't want to be there anymore. Yeah.
I mean, look.
That troll just took down about 5 elves.
I mean, look. Here's my thing. Like, they gave her like several centuries. It's not like they were like little bitches. Like literally, they gave up like multiple human lifetimes, and they're like it's.
We did the math earlier.
Hey man, we don't support job hopping around here, okay?
They gave up about 18 months of their life. Big deal.
I mean, whatever. They get. She just needs to calm down. Sauron. He's not even that big a deal.
We're just scared.
But
I mean, just think of it. If they don't wimp out, he probably finds Sauron and kills him, and we don't ever get the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Then Frodo just gets to be like a fucking Baggins from fucking the Shire.
Well, to be fair, if he goes on that adventure, he doesn't find the ring. He gets killed by Gollum, and yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
What other, Jason? Do you have any favorite scenes we haven't talked about?
My favorite scene. We're going to talk about it. We'll go ahead and bring it up here. It's not an issue. It's just something that I was thinking, and I'm going to bring it up because it's part of my favorite scenes. Is Galadriel and her crew on this boat going off to the mystic land of everlasting
Valinor, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. And okay, so me and Dave talked about this a little bit earlier, and so I'm going to bring up my thought on it, and then we're going to discuss why I feel like it was done this way, as far as what me and Dave had kind of walked it through. Am I the only one who, during the part where like the clouds open and the rays of light are shining through and these white birds come out to welcome them, that almost any second now the casket top is pulled back from the Ark of the Covenant, and all of the souls turn to skeletons and melt everybody's faces?
I mean, I wouldn't say that specifically, but I did. I was like, I was feeling like a moment of dread, like something bad was going to happen for sure.
I did not feel that at all.
Wow.
I can't believe that.
Really? I mean, they're all sailing to the Elf Valhalla. I mean,
I know. I just figured like
yeah, but like the way the music was building, the way that Galadriel was acting, and just like,
well, Galadriel is acting like that because she's got unfinished business. She doesn't want to go.
No,
the other elves are like, thank God, we're done with this shit. Let's go.
I absolutely agree with you, but I feel like the scene's set up to make it feel like something else was about to happen. And the reason why this is my favorite scene is because, in my opinion, just based on watching this scene play out, I feel like they did that on purpose, so that you felt this. I got a bad feeling about this kind of feeling, and so you can sympathize with the decision more readily as far as what Galadriel ended up doing. And I felt like the whole thing was kind of played out based on music, the way that everything was shot, and her mannerisms during this ascension that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the goal of that scene by the director and crew was to give the audience the same feeling that Galadriel had. Josh, you should try to rewatch that scene, I think, from that perspective.
I'll never rewatch these first 2 episodes. I'm done with that. I think it was just meant to make it like be as epic as the honor of going to this place is. That's what I felt it was supposed to feel like.
I don't know, man. I truly did feel like everybody's face was just about to melt. She was gonna jump in the water, and that boat was just gonna catch on fire.
That scene made me uncomfortable because I did genuinely think something bad was gonna happen. But I think that was the point.
First 2 episodes made me uncomfortable.
Next.
Do we have any other favorite scenes other than the end credits?
Wow, Josh. Tell us how you really feel. So, I do appreciate all the scenes with the stranger, who seems to be some type of person of magical.
Fuck out of here, dude. The fucking dude from the asteroid.
Wait, can we
Meteor Man?
Can we just get to least favorite character right now?
Look, how are y'all gonna pick him as your least favorite character when you know nothing about him? First of all,
he sucks.
Based on what?
Based on everything I know about acting and characters in the history of TV and cinema.
I will say this. He's my least favorite character this week because I didn't care about a single scene that guy was in. Like I didn't even care who this guy was.
Look, I'm sure this guy is going to be an important figure in the show going forward, and maybe he'll redeem himself. But right now, this dude is he's worse than Daemon Targaryen in terms of a character.
Look, the best scene that he's in, he's eating snails with the shells on.
I'm not saying he's my favorite character. I'm just saying I'm intrigued about his origin, who he is, because obviously it's going to be relevant. Clearly he's powerful.
Absolutely. Josh, was he your least favorite character for this week?
No.
Oh my God. All right, just we want to wait until we get to
let's Dave, are you done?
Yeah.
Good. I'm done with this series too. Okay, let's go to favorite character for the first 2 episodes.
It's Galadriel. He's a badass. Really? Yes.
Interesting.
I like her character. She doesn't fuck around. All she wants to do is murder.
Yeah,
fair.
I had her as my pick as well. I think it was close between her and Elrond, but
really?
I think Galadriel is. I'm very curious because
I do like the. I was gonna say my follow up. My second guy would be the elf, the other elf.
Oh, Arendir.
Yeah, Arendir.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going with Prince Durin.
Right.
I thought that was by far the most entertaining story of the first 2 episodes, and me and Prince Durin, we got a lot in common, man. We've had friends that have been very near and dear to us that, just stood us up for certain things or, didn't show up for things. So I know what that feels like, and I feel like I can relate to him. Like, I can meet him where he's at,
Yeah, hard-headed, prideful, stuff like that.
Smashing rock.
Yeah, smashing rocks,
absolutely.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. What about least favorite characters? Jason, we already know who you chose.
I already chose, yeah.
By the way, have you guys seen that movie Meteor Man? Like the superhero movie that came out in I think it was the late or the early 90s?
Yes, I've seen it.
I can't remember if I have.
It's not good.
Bro, that guy is way better than this Meteor Man.
You're dumb as fuck.
They should merge the two.
I sometimes think to myself, it's okay, Dave. You can do your best to carry the intelligence factor on this podcast. But then we get to episodes like this, and it's like, you guys are like a smart vacuum. Like, I just can't do it. So, Josh, that's your least favorite character is Meteor Man?
No.
Budget Gandalf?
No, it's Jason's.
It's Jason's favorite.
Mine.
Oh,
what's Jason's least favorite?
What's your least favorite, Josh?
The Pussy Soldier from Galadriel's troop, man.
Thank you. That dude was.
I hate that guy.
No whining.
What a fucking wiener.
He couldn't wait to go off to the light.
Yeah.
Mine is the King Elf. Fuck that dude.
You know what the worst part? We'll come back to the King Elf.
That's a good
Josh,
choice.
you want to know the worst part about that guy?
What?
That you despise? Is basically he got there riding the coattails of Galadriel, because you know that guy didn't kill anything.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's very obvious from seeing that Galadriel is clearly more powerful than all of them.
And so
I feel like Dave right now. Dave is like in the mood that he was in whenever we voted Under Siege over Unforgiven right now.
Oh,
that's the level of hate Dave has for it.
It's not quite that bad, but it's definitely not good.
Dave, question.
Yeah.
And since that's your least favorite character, do we think that the item that he's protecting is the same glimmering stone or whatever that turned all the dwarves moronic in
100%.
In The Hobbit or whatever it was?
Okay. Yes, but I think you have the person I chose incorrect. I didn't say the King Dwarf. I said the King Elf.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just want to... I knew what you were talking about, but that's not who I chose, so I just wanted to clarify. Yeah, I'm not
the one that was like ready to get rid of Galadriel.
Oh yeah. He was ready to get rid of her, push her aside. Like, shouldn't it be, I don't know, like a red flag that the king doesn't want to go to Valinor? Like, nah, he's good. He's gonna stay in Middle Earth.
He's got stuff to do.
Yeah,
he's not ready to retire and go on vacation yet.
I mean, I've seen his hair. He definitely takes at least half a day on on his hair for sure.
I mean, half a day
for them is nothing. They're immortal, so they're immortal. It doesn't matter.
Any issues?
I mean, can I choose you two guys?
Ooh.
No.
Well, then I'm good. This show is perfect.
Wow, perfect. It is not perfect. It is a bit on the slow side.
No. I do have an issue that I want to bring up before you guys bring it up, and I figured this is low hanging fruit. If you guys never brought it up, I'd be disappointed. Where the fuck is Galadriel swimming to, and how does she expect to not get tired?
Dave, she is an elf of superior strength. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I understand that, and I get it.
Yeah, but whenever they pulled her up onto that boat, man, she hit the deck like a sack of potatoes, man. She was. Yeah. Like, she had no energy when she hit that, and then all of a sudden she gets pushed back in, and she's like, all right, I'm back. How far are we supposed to believe she's got to swim?
Yeah, because I don't know how long you got to sail to go off to this mythical place. But I will say that just before she sets off, she looks up into the skies, takes account of where the stars are, and then starts swimming in the direction that she's supposed to, Dave.
I'm not saying that it's not like trying.
She knows where she's swimming.
I get it.
But if we're to look at that map early on in the show, from when they leave their home to go to Middle Earth,
it's hundreds of miles.
I was going to say there's not a legend on there for me to be able to go back and pause it and measure each one. Okay, but it looks like a really far distance.
Yeah,
I'm just saying she should be drowning.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. That's a good call.
Okay, so I think the only issue that I actually had was I, as a little kid, and a mom killing an orc. I mean, they make it work. I agree. While at the same time, the warrior elf that's a couple of thousand years old basically gets captured immediately.
I mean, he was snuck up on by multiple hands.
Well, I mean,
he's clearly never seen like real combat.
Yeah, it doesn't appear that he's ever seen combat.
I mean, also, like, we don't know. We literally don't know what grabbed him. So, I mean, I think that's a slight early judgment until we see what he's actually dealing with there.
I'm just saying, if going forward, we watch this dude just mow down hundreds of orcs at a time. It's going to be this. I'll look back and think that this was kind of dumber than I already think it is.
Well, we also need to get. I think we need to get out of our mind as well like what our ideas of orcs and goblins are from Lord of the Rings. Because again, this was thousands of years ago. We don't know if the strength of this has changed over time. I would assume maybe it has. So
I've heard firsthand accounts from an orc himself about how stupid they are. Maybe you've heard of him, Grimskull.
Yep. That's true. Yep. They are weak. I don't know.
Oh god. Any other issues?
Nah, not a lot. I didn't. Besides Starman, I don't have a lot of issues.
No, I think the show is fantastic.
Starman.
It is.
Okay, so questions. I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
What's in the box?
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying earlier.
That's the same stone that was from The Hobbit.
Dwarf King.
And I'm blanking on what the stone is right now, but
it drives them mad. Anyway, it's from The Hobbit.
The Arkenstone.
The stone.
That's what it is.
Arkenstone.
Yeah, I think it's the Arkenstone.
It drives them mad.
Like greedy. It drives them crazy for gold and all that good shit.
Yeah. Yep. Any other questions?
All right. The only other question I have is what's up with Asteroid Guy, but we've already addressed that.
Yeah. Look.
You think they can write him off the show?
No, they don't. Hey, early predictions on who that is for people, because we don't even know any characters. So this probably not going to be able to. It's not Gandalf, I'm sure. If it's Gandalf,
are you sure, or you're just like, I'm kind of sure?
So
it doesn't look like Gandalf.
I mean, look.
Maybe it looks like Gandalf from 1,000 years ago.
Is it a Gandalf type?
I think it is a Maya, I think is what they're called. I'm sure that's wrong. Maya, let's see.
You should have taken notes, Dave.
No.
We talked about this earlier.
Look, who is this guy? He's a waste of time right now is who he is.
Yeah, I don't think he is anybody from the movies that we've seen.
Yeah.
That's just my prediction. I don't think that he's going to be anybody that we actually know. Like, it's not Sauron, it's not Gandalf. I don't think it's going to be any of those guys. It's not the guy who has birds that live in his hair that shit on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maiar is what I was thinking of. Maya or Maiar is like the pseudo-angel race of beings. It seems as though this person had powers, and it's not going to be Gandalf, though, for sure.
Do we think it's going to be anybody from the movies?
That, like, the movies, like the... No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all, personally.
All right.
Any other questions or predictions?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. You are
Dave's so mad.
boxing nothing. Dave, you should have taken notes.
No, I don't. I mean, look, there's nothing to predict yet, right? I mean, if we want to make a prediction on how quickly that sword is going to take over that little kid's body, that sword is 100% evil. Guaranteed.
It's like the dagger from Wheel of Time.
Yeah, like it's
Correct.
like it sucked his blood out and like started. I think it's like reforging itself.
Correct.
So I'm pretty confident that thing will eventually be a full-on sword. But, the kid's soul will be trapped inside of it, I'm sure.
Question
Does
is...
Shang Tsung pop out at that point?
Yeah.
Say it, Dave.
Yeah.
Your soul is mine. There you go.
Okay, so do we think that the reason that the goblins are digging the tunnels is because they're looking for that sword?
They never really say where that came from, right? Or did they?
Well, the kid jacks it from somebody's farmhouse or whatever.
But okay, I don't remember.
Why would they be digging tunnels trying to find that versus just like moving on? Like, are they trying to stay hidden? I mean, that seems like a very Like take as long as it would take to walk somewhere and add about 50 times that. That's how long it would take to dig.
I agree, but it's more suspenseful if they're coming through the floors. Show has to happen, Josh.
Yep. So it's like Tremors. So
and if you want to rule out the what are the odds that they would dig a tunnel to the other leading character's house, then you could say that they're after the sword, or the sword is summoning them.
I don't think the sword. My prediction. I think the sword is has nothing to do with what the goblins are after, or I don't think that's what it is at all. Personally,
I can't wait till next week and they'll be like, they're following the sword. When we find that out, I'm gonna say I told you so.
Hey, look, that's the point of predictions, is so that somebody can be right and then I can be the one actually correct.
Okay.
You guys can make predictions and then I can be right. That's usually how it goes.
Jesus Christ, he gets one prediction right, and all of a sudden he's like the prediction king.
Yeah.
That's right, dude.
From a show that we're never gonna watch again.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Lord of the Rings? I agree. Fuck yeah. Let's cancel it now. All right. Well, hey, good news. First 2 episodes were really good. We're looking forward to the 3rd episode here. Hopefully you get some action going on in this episode. So tune in next week. We'll talk about it. We'll be good about it. In the meantime, live long and prosper.
Take it easy, everybody.
Later.
See ya.